Hello everyone, this video is sponsored by the One Football app, the best app around. So make sure you guys are downloading it. The link is in the description for it. It keeps you up to date with all of the stats around the Premier League, not just Newcastle. Because let's face it, we don't win many games, but it is expected to be a very, very busy January transfer window. All the rumours are in the app that we are linked to. Download it, it's free.
Newcastle Fans TV.
Yes, it is the last word. Well said, a very dark and festive, shall we say, St James's Park, as Newcastle unfortunately have lost again at home, this time against the champions Manchester City, the Champions League finalists from last year, by 4-0. A few changes though. Callum Wilson back in, Miguel Almiron back in, Joe Willock back in, Ciaran Clark back in. Surprised?
I was. When I saw that lineup, I was a bit panicked, to be honest. I thought there was a couple of positives for me. Obviously, Callum Wilson coming back in. I like seeing Miguel Almiron start, and I do like him. I know Liam says this all the time, but he runs a lot. He gets up and down that pitch. And with the fullbacks that we had in today, he needed to cover defensively as well, which I thought he did quite well. But the main one for me was saint-maximin dropping to the bench. He's been very poor in the past few games. I don't think he did himself particularly any favours today. It's good to see the manager taking that decision, because there's some players that appear untouchable sometimes. And we saw it with Callum Wilson last week. We saw it with saint-maximin this week. The manager's chopping things, changing things, seeing if it works. And obviously those times it hasn't worked, we're against good oppositions, fair enough. But the rest of the lineup, I was a bit panicked. Back four, Ciaran Clark, Jamal Lascelles, notoriously horrific centre-back pairing. Thought they were okay today, but then the full-backs were the main point of concern for me. Matt Ritchie, who obviously having to come in because Jamal was suffering that injury in the last game, and Jacob Murphy coming in at right back. I'm not sure if Manquillo was injured, but he dropped out. Jacob Murphy coming into a back four and not a back five, which I think is a new thing for him for the start of a game. So I was very worried, considering the calibre of talent that Man City have, especially on the wings. You know, Mahrez and Sterling, two of the best wingers in the world. Concerned with the start of the lineup. But it worked quite well. I thought first half we played really well. Goals came from individual errors in the game, and I thought as a team we worked really well in the formation with the three central midfielders of Hayden, Joe Linton and Willock. Worked quite well to start with, Willock being the weak link, which we saw at half time. Eddie Howe not being afraid to make that sub at half time, which I thought was great to see as well, because he had a very poor first half. Yes,
we'll move on to the first half, and look, I'm sure Eddie Howe's pre-match prep talk would be, let's keep it tight first 20 minutes, no silly mistakes at the back, let's frustrate Manchester City. Or you could just decide to have a miscommunication at the back between your goalkeeper and your centre-half after your goalkeeper passes it out for a corner, and then it's 1-0 Manchester City. Who's at fault for you, Matt, for that first goal? Because I'm blaming Martin Dúbravka, because first things first, don't kick a ball out for a corner. If you're not confident passing it back to Jamal Lascelles, let's just hoof it up and we can regroup again. But we don't deal with that, and then we don't deal with the goal. It was a comedy of errors.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm blaming Dúbravka. From what I saw, I was sat in the Gallagher end, like you mentioned, kicking it out for a corner. Obviously it wasn't intentional. He tries to get that back to Jamal Lascelles, but Man City are a notoriously high pressing team. You don't try and play out from the back against them like we did under pressure. You know, Ciaran Clark doesn't enjoy playing in front of a Gallagher end in the first 5 minutes. We've established that in the last couple of home games. Dúbravka kicks out for a corner. Defend the first ball in all right. It was the lack of defensive awareness for the defence to track the last man. I think it was Cancelo was the late runner, just punched that ball back in, and it's a soft ball. It's not like it's come whipping across the 6-yard box and a defender's dangled a leg and the keeper's got confused. It's just looped in, and like we say, Clark's kind of ducked out the way, but that must have been from
schoolboy though, isn't it?
It is schoolboy, but the keeper's got to come for that for me. It's a 6-yard box, and Dúbravka notoriously is a confident goalkeeper in a 6-yard box. He's not afraid to come for balls like that. So I don't understand why. Maybe he's just not switched on and he's not ready in the first couple of minutes. Maybe his mistake is still in the back of his mind from kicking it out from the corner. But yeah, for me it's Dúbravka at fault, because even if Clark hasn't got the shout, it's still the keeper's ball to get. Like, even if Clark leaves it, the keeper should be getting there ahead of the striker, or the defender in this case for me.
Get your comments in. Who do you think was at fault for that first goal? It was actually Dias who scored to make it 1-0 to Manchester City. I thought Newcastle actually did well in terms of that mistake, and Joe Linton has probably Newcastle's best chance of the first half, where his shot was drilled wide after City didn't really clear the lines. But Joao Cancelo for Manchester City, is probably on his best day the best right back for City and the best left back for City when he wants to be. And what an individual piece of brilliance for the goal. And it was a bit of a sucker punch really, because Newcastle slowly but surely 25 minutes in, even though they were 1-0 down for a poor error, Matt, were kind of getting back into it a little bit.
Yeah, we were pressing quite well, not letting them put their authority on the game, which we know they like to do. We saw that in the second half. They came into it very well, but we weren't letting them do that in the first half. Joe Linton, like you said, had that chance, put a shot just wide. I think Fraser had a chance as well, got the ball on the counter-attack, nothing came of that. We were getting back into the game, and then Cancelo picks the ball up from right back of all positions and just darts in field. We've seen him do it multiple times this season with City. He plays almost as a central midfielder, and Joe Willock anticipates a pass that Cancelo's going to make. He doesn't make the pass and he gets feinted out and then doesn't track back, and because that's Willock's part of the midfield at that time, no one else is covering it, and the defenders don't want to step up because they know they've got wingers and strikers behind him. And then he just gets about 10 seconds to just dribble the ball in from right back, move it from his left foot to his right foot, pick out where he wants to place the ball and just puts it in the back of the net. You can't fault the goalkeeper for it. It was a good strike, but Joe Willock has to get back and recover that for me, because he's tried to anticipate something that hasn't happened. He's made an individual error. He needs to get back and recover that. Joe Linton made errors today, but he got back behind the ball. Even Matt Ritchie, there was one time he stepped up too high, De Bruyne got past him, but he just bombed back, and Joe Willock didn't have the energy for me, and I think Eddie Howe saw that, and that's why he was hooked at half time.
Yeah, he was hooked at half time. Half time probably came at the right time for Newcastle, but before half time, what a big decision Martin Atkinson failed to make. That penalty decision, I think Cancelo obviously gets the ball, but the keeper's already committed in Ederson. He hasn't had a lot to do in the whole game, let's be honest, and when he slides, Fraser's going towards him and completely takes him out. Why has that not been given a penalty, Matt?
I mean, it goes over my head. In the rules of the game, it's a foul, but I don't know how the referee hasn't I think if the referee gives it, VAR doesn't overturn it and it's still a penalty. VAR have checked it and said that it's the right on-field decision. I don't understand how that's physically possible. If Cancelo's not there and Ryan Fraser nicks it past Ederson brings him down, it's a penalty, right?
Is it an obvious error that the referee's made?
Absolutely. It's a foul. Like, if I go in and 2-foot someone 10 seconds after the ball's gone in the middle of the pitch, that's a foul and probably a red card. So why is it that the keeper's committed to get the ball, hasn't got the ball, doesn't matter who's nicked the ball out of the way, whether it's a defender or an attacker, the ball's not there and he's taken the attacker out. The attacker hasn't looked for the foul, he's physically tried to stop himself if you watch the replay, and the goalkeeper's out of control, sliding in and takes the attacker out. How the hell? Because I was sitting right at the back of the galley and this was at the other end of the pitch. I could see that it was a foul. I don't know how the hell the referee can stand 20 yards away, look at that and go, no foul, and the VAR can go, yeah, that's right, no foul. It just absolutely boggles the mind. And at the end of the day, it's probably a decision that didn't really matter in the grand scheme of things, but that's multiple times we've had this season where a decision's gone against us. We saw with the penalty or non-penalty against Fraser last week, with Trent to Alexander-Arnold making that challenge as the last man. We just don't get decisions, and say it's big club bias, call it what you want, it's just poor refereeing. And we've said this since the Premier League started way back when. The standard of officiating in this league, it's absolutely abysmal, and VAR hasn't changed that.
VAR was, I think it was off duty in the first half. It certainly made up for it in the second. Second half, Alan Saint-Maximin comes on for Joe Willock, as Matt has mentioned. Saint-Maximin, maybe that burst of energy, burst of pace on the counter-attack. I thought he did okay in the second half. There's a couple of times he loses the ball in stupid areas of the pitch, but he just seems to do that constantly now. But City did make it 3-0. Riyad Mahrez, it was initially given as offside. I actually thought it was offside when I first seen it, when you watch it live. And then when Sam Milner says it's onside and WhatsApp messages, you go, I think this is going to be 3-0 very, very soon. But again, Matt, really poor defending. Mahrez left unmarked, and it's 3-0 game. Well, if it wasn't game over before, then it's definitely game over now.
Yeah, I mean, I said, right about 10 minutes into the game, I said, I'm going to regret saying this, but Mahrez has not had a peep against Ritchie so far. And then there he is, ghosting at the back post, absolutely unmarked. I'll be honest, I wasn't paying too much attention to the defending because I thought it was very clearly offside from where I was sitting. Apparently not. But the defence has just gone to sleep. Whether it's Ritchie's man, whether it's the centre-back's man, he's on his own. It's not like the box is being flooded with attackers and there's too many men to mark. He's on his own. It's a good ball in. Should the ball in be closed down quicker? Someone's definitely got to be on him. It's just poor defending, and I think we've just gone to sleep for that. I can't say much more of it, like I say, because I wasn't paying too much attention, but like you say, that's the nail in the coffin, and the fourth was just cherry on top for Man City.
It was a cherry on top of the cake for the former, I was going to say the former Bournemouth man, but he wasn't the former Bournemouth man. Former Bournemouth manager was Eddie Howe. Wouldn't like to see too many cherries on the top of a cake when it comes to Manchester City, but Raheem Sterling does make it 4-0 after putting away the simplest of balls. Great assist on the left hand side, Jacob Murphy just chasing a shadow for those 30 seconds. But 4-0 it ended. Great atmosphere towards the end. The fans kept with the team as much as they could. I think they realised, look, you're playing Manchester City, we haven't got Shelvey or Manquillo. I wonder why that's the case. Could be COVID, could be just injury. We'll have to wait and see what Eddie Howe has to say in a second. But the fans did keep with the team, and you've seen the flags demonstrations towards the end. That's the sort of atmosphere you want to see at St James's Park, with everything that's going around with the last few weeks, where there's still only been one win so far this season. Ended 4-0. Let's hear what Eddie Howe had to say.
We shot ourselves in the foot, really, beginning of the game. To concede a goal in that manner was a big frustration, because any team in the land, you don't want to go chasing a game against. It's Manchester City, and to do it so early made our task doubly difficult. I thought the rest of the first half, bar their second goal, was a really good disciplined performance. I thought we really did minimise their goalmouth action. A team that always creates chances for that first period, I thought were relatively quiet. Okay, they scored 2 goals. Sounds like a contradiction, but I was pleased with the disciplined performance. And we did look a threat. Should have had a penalty. So again, some moments went against us. I don't want to be a manager that every game comes in and highlights decisions that the officials have got wrong. It's not my style. But since I've been here, I think there's been one in every game, and for me, they're clear decisions. I think the goalkeeper's out of control. He goes into Ryan at speed. I mean, how that's not a free kick? A free kick and then a penalty, I don't know.
So that was Eddie Howe's thoughts after Newcastle's defeat this afternoon. Matt, 8 days until the next game. Possibly. We'll have to wait and see. Hopefully Newcastle can play a game of football, and everybody can play a game of football. Everybody's safe to do so next week. If Newcastle do play next week, they're still going to be in the bottom 3, Matt. The table's on your screen now. We're still 19th. We're still in a very difficult position. We're still 3 points behind Watford. They have games in hand. Leeds have played, but 6 points behind them. Man United aren't the Man United of old. Yes, they've got some good players, but they're not Man City and Liverpool. If we can just take our chances a little bit, we might have half a chance of getting something, and it might just re-galvanise the whole 90 minutes, not just the last 5 minutes of a game.
I think if we put in a team performance like we did today, where every man's trying for each other, I think we're in with a really good chance of a result against Man United, because they've obviously got a new manager coming in and trying to implement new ideas with the players that he's got. It's not the strongest side. Obviously they've got very dangerous attackers, but the defence is shoddy at best, and they are there for the taking. You've got dangerous attackers in Callum Wilson, Miguel Almiron and Alan Saint-Maximin. Even Joe Linton looked threatening. He turned Dias inside out in the second half, and is arguably the world's best defender at the moment. We can provide a goal threat. Ryan Fraser looked decent today, and if Man United have an off day, they're out of form. They haven't had I say they're out of form. They haven't had a game in a while, and they won't have had a game when we come to play them for a long time. So they'll be out of whack, and they're there for the taking. Really, it's another home game. I believe I am right in saying that. Yeah, it's another home game for us. Crowd will be right behind them. Obviously, Boxing Day, it's a special atmosphere anyway. Atmosphere is incredible tonight, and I think it'll be 2 times that if we can get a goal against Man United.
Certainly right. I think again, a full week's rest, I think Lee and Matt have mentioned in the match reaction, it might do the whole world, or the whole of the country, a bit of good. Maybe having 8 days without any football, just to kind of rejuvenate the whole country. But it is Christmas, and I think everybody, I can only speak on behalf of everybody Newcastle fans, so we'd like to wish all our subscribers and all the viewers a very Merry Christmas, and I'm sure you'll have a fantastic New Year as well if Newcastle can get some wins on the board. Maybe some new players as well. Just a little final note as well, just a big kind of like a good luck message for Sam. He's had a bit of a tough week, illness across the whole family, so I'm sure you would like to echo Matt. Everybody's thinking of him at this minute.
Yeah, get well soon, mate, and hope all the best to you and your family, mate.
Merry Christmas from everybody from Newcastle Fans TV, and hopefully we'll see you on the 27th against Man United.